Hello and welcome back. You're tuned into Revision Hub with Jazzy. I am back with another video, and in this video I'll be continuing to look at crime and deviance, which is an AQA Sociology topic. I'd like to apologise before we begin because I've not made videos till now and just been a bit busy, so I apologise for that, and hopefully it's not caused any inconvenience to your revision schedule. So, I'm back again and I'll try to be as consistent as I can, like before. So, let's get cracking on and let's do a quick recap. So, last video, what did we do? It's been a long time. Go back on my playlist, have a look, have a revise of that too. So, last video, we simply looked at gender, crime, as well as the Chivalry Thesis. The Chivalry Thesis that outlines that the CJS, the criminal justice system, is more lenient towards women because because they're actually women by gender, that's why they behave more chivalrously to them. We looked at that. If you need a quick recap, go back to the playlist where you'll be able to find my video. So again, I want you now, if you've looked at that video, if you've memorized the notes and you have actually revised, rested, tested and repeated yourself, go on with this activity, pause the video, have a go at this activity, jot down what you remember from my previous video. I know this may seem like very draining as you do, but I think it's very, very good if you get into practice of this, because the more you do this now, the easier it will be to get it in your head and write on paper when you are in the exam. So please do this before going on with the next set of content. Okay, so just before, I just want to do these key figures which you must consider, and it's good to use these within this topic of gender and crime. So, Buckle and Fallerington are sociologists. They conducted an observation to study shoplifting. So they went and they did like an observation, they mapped out the practical, ethical, theoretical, and methodological factors, and they conducted an observation to study shoplifting. Typically, we all know this, that women begin to be involved in shoplifting women are typically more involved within shoplifting as opposed to men. Key statistics prove this point. But when their study was conducted, it was found that 2.8% of 142 males observed shoplifting, whilst only 1.4% of 361 females did. Hence, it's actually proved that, typically we label women to commit crime like shoplifting much more and it's much higher. But in reality, that is not the case as per the study. So this is just something to consider and just keep at the back of your mind. Another thing to keep back in your mind is Graham and Bowling's study, who found that official statistics, men are 4 times more likely to be convicted as opposed to women, just because of the chivalry thesis argument. So this is another figure which is very important and you should keep at the back of your mind, because this actually supports for the chivalry thesis, which I looked at in my previous video. Hopefully this is very, very clear, and it's just good to memorize these key figures. I've summarized them for you, so the work is done. All you have to do is just go off and revise it. So, we've all talked about for the chivalry thesis. We gave a few arguments and reasons why the for chivalry thesis actually worked. But now we have to look at the against side, because remember, you can get an evaluation question on this. So, against the chivalry thesis, there are various different arguments, and I'll be looking at this within this slide. So, the criminal justice system treats men more sympathetically and women more harshly, especially in rape trials. Carol Smart argues that in rape trials, men's sexual needs are celebrated. Hence, it's claimed that, quote, it is not their fault, unquote. So, whenever there are trials on men, especially in rape cases, it's claimed that, it is not their fault. Poor men, it is not their fault, it is their needs. Carol Smart was supported by Judge Wild, and Judge Wild argues that women's no does not always mean no, and if it actually means no, then all women have to do is keep their legs shut. This can be supported by Sandra, who argues that if women give a slight indication by keeping their legs open, for example, they are shown to seem more available, hence men take more advantage of them. Here we can use Carol Smart, we can use the CG as evidence to show that, the chivalry thesis does not exist, because in actually rape trials, men's sexual needs are celebrated, women are not treated more chivalrously, as per Judge Wild also supports this thing, as well as Sandra. gender. So here we've got a few sociologists like Carol Smart as well as Sandra. Also, we have Judge Wild. So we've got a couple of theories which we can actually sustain a paragraph or two on this particular point if this is actually an evaluation question which you get. So hopefully this is very clear, and I've actually given you the for in my last video, and here is the against. Now we're going to be looking at the double standards in the CJS, the criminal justice system. Pat Carlin argues that women still go to prison. There's actually nothing chivalrous about this because they do get sentenced, and it's just the fact that their crime is not that serious. So there's nothing to be more chivalrous about. It's just that the crime that they've taken place in is not that serious. So again, this is another evidence which you can use against the chivalry thesis. Henderson argues that women are treated more harshly, especially if they go against the norms of sexuality and femininity, hence why girls are taken in care as opposed to boys. However, the court are very reluctant in order to imprison mothers. If you've looked at a few court cases, they're very lenient towards mothers. So here is another example which we can use against the chivalry thesis. This is known as the double standards within the CJS. Pat Carlin and Henderson, again, we have both of them, and they both also support this view and argue that, you know what, women are judged on their character more harshly, even when they are convicted for minor offences. Even though they go to jail for not committing that much serious offence, they still go into prison, A. B, they still get punished, and C, they get treated more harshly because they go against the norms of sexuality and femininity. They debunk those norms, which is not seen as common within modern day society in which we live in. Pat Carlin and Henderson, again, we have also argues that the criminal justice system is simply gendered biased, and they make the decision based on the cage statement. The cage is that they be biased based on an individual's class, age, gender, as well as ethnicity. Here we've got a whole chunk of material which can be used as your second paragraph. So if you have an evaluation, you know what to do. You need to apply this video as well as my previous video. Join them both together. You'll have an amazing paragraph as well as an essay. Real life cases. It's very important for you to add real life cases and scenarios because it shows the examiner that, you know what, you've not only went off and understood the theory, but you've also applied it. And when they see this application, they tend to mark you up in the top band. So, Maxine Carr, have you heard of her? Okay, so she was sent to prison for providing a false alibi for a boyfriend who was murdered. Maxon had nothing to do with the murder, but protested for reintroducing the death penalty outside of court. Just because she did that, the media, as we looked at in my previous videos, you can click the I section if you want to go off and look at the media demonized Carr, and they created a big moral panic and folk devils, and they labeled Carr as just an individual who's just trying to create sensational stories on the front page. Again, we have Myra Hindley, another real-life example. She murdered 5 children. The media demonized her for not having, quote, motherly instincts, unquote. She was sentenced for 30 years imprisonment. So here we can see 2 real-life examples. Very good if you apply them to the 2 other points that I gave on my previous slide. Again, same, you can Google them up actually, you'll be able to find much more, but what I've given you is the summarized version, and this is all you need to add on within your exam. Hopefully this is clear, and hopefully when you have an evaluation question on this chivalry thesis for and against, you're able to very confidently write paragraphs for and against, evaluate the statement, as well as apply real life cases such as Maxine Carr as well as Myra Hindley to your answer. So what we've learned a lot of things. So I want you now to actually go off and revise, rest, test, and as well as repeat yourself. And obviously it's very important for you to really get to know the content very well inside out, not only this video, because your exam is not only based on this video but also all other videos, especially for those sitting your A-level exams. Next video, we will stop on this and we will continue to look at men in crime. We've looked at a lot on gender and women in crime. We'll be looking at men in crime. Again, I'm on Instagram, so you can follow me, scan the name tag revisionhelp_JazzyJ. It's got a lot of material I still need to post, and I'm making some changes to it, so I'm trying to do my best on that. Again, I'm on Canva, which is an amazing platform, and I highly recommend you guys to look at it. It creates amazing things, and it created such amazing slides like this. Also, do not forget to like my videos. There's a small segment, a smiley on the side. Please feel free to click that and subscribe if you're happy with the content that you received. Very summarized, and it's very good for your revision. If you like that, take a few moments and press the smiley icon. For those of you who've already pressed the smiley icon, thank you so much. I highly appreciate it. Again, this really helps me to, actually it inspires me as well as motivates me so that I can continue to make such amazing content just to help all of you guys. Do not forget to comment. Below is the comment section. Comment. Need help? Someone asked me for help. Thank you so much for doing that. It was absolutely amazing. I felt so nice after that conversation that we had. I was able to help someone. So if you guys have to ask for me for any form of help, please do not worry. Do not hesitate and ask me if you have a question. If you want to give any criticisms, please feel free to do that too. Hence, the comment section is open. And again, please do not forget to press the bell icon to never miss my video, because you know that this video links to my next video, as well as the previous video links to this video. So it's all like a chain reaction, and it's very important for you to follow on all of those, otherwise you'll be stuck halfway through. So thank you so much for tuning in into Revision Hub with Jazzy J.